With Sonny Jurgensen, I'm Gary Bender. First down at the 13 for the Cardinals. Play action by Hart over the middle, Anderson. And Hover was right there. The middle linebacker played that very well, didn't he? He dropped off and covered Anderson stride for stride.
It's very difficult to get the ball to Anderson on a play-action pass because everybody's keying him. Watch Don Hover this time. He's keying on the deep back, and he sees him come out, and look, just going to run right with him. He's a little bit behind him. Ball was thrown in, but he did get up a hand, knocked it away. If he'd have knocked it up a little higher, I think Mark Murphy would have come away with an interception.
Jim Hart in this game, 12 of 20 now, 161 yards. Had a 32-yard completion that went the other way when the ball was fumbled and run out by Murphy, who you just mentioned. On a 2nd and 10, Anderson comes out to the 19-yard line, and he's gathered up by Carl Lorch in particular and slammed back. So it's going to be just short of the 20-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd down still, almost 4 yards to go. Dave Steep comes back into the Cardinal lineup, as they're going to have 3 wide receivers in on this play.
I think Otis Anderson is finding out. You see how tough going he's had after the 37 yards last week. He's finding out that every team has some people that like to stick their helmets in you and hurt you.
On a 3rd and 4, Steep in motion. Hart gives off to Wayne Morris. Got a lot of running room. Got the first down to 30. Goes airborne to the 35-yard line. Keith Wortman was the guy that sealed everything off on that play. And an amazing amount of running room that time for Morris.
Because they were expecting the pass. Washington expecting the pass. You see they didn't get a force this time, and they run a little play. Young comes around, makes a good block. And you see Joe Lavender, he was late on the force because he was playing the outside receiver, trying to double the cover.
16-yard pickup, just short of the 35. 7:10 left in this 3rd quarter. Hart, play action. Gray is covered by Parrish, and Parrish all afternoon long has played as well as you can play against Mel Gray.
You can forget that pattern when you have to throw the ball that far across the field from one hash mark to the other to try to complete an out pattern. It's just impossible. Would you look at this? Pittsburgh came back.
They're unbelievable.
He came back and did it to him.
And there's another final. That's San Diego's first loss of the year. Boy, New England, after losing that first game to Pittsburgh, they have played well.
They do have some talent.
2nd and 10. Pressure put on. Intended receiver, the tight end, I guess, coming across, Gary Parrish. Coy Bacon was the man that came through and put the pressure on.
I think it caused Jim to throw the ball badly, and he's a little upset. He did have him open. Now they're going to go with their 3 outside receivers. And this in the past has been a position where the Redskins have come with that safety blitz again.
They're bringing Monty Coleman in, the special teams deluxe. Wysocki, who was shaken up early in the game, goes off.
Ray Waddy's in.
Waddy's been excellent, has he, in those nickel back defensive situations. 3rd and 10. Hart has some time, and he has Tilley wide open. And Tilley has a first down at the 35-yard line, and a little pushing and shoving going on as further down the field, Ken Houston and Otis Anderson explain some pleasantries.
He runs a good pattern here. He runs a corner pattern. You see the inside release on Lavender. Lavender's now trailing him, and you see what he does. He runs away from Kenny Houston. Good throw right on the target. Big play by the Cardinals. They're moving again, Gary.
30-yard pickup to the 35. Thomas Lott has now come in the backfield. Anderson limping a little bit as he comes up. He and Houston were shoving each other at the tail end of that play and had something to explain to each other. And Anderson, they're looking him over now as Lott has come in replacing him. Tilley has 4 catches now for 82 yards. Biggest day thus far, 79 for him. And this is Lott, who just checked in. Lott doing a pretty good job to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 5 yards. Talbert made the tackle.
Bud Wilkinson said he's a very smooth athlete. Never heard that described. Why would you describe me as an athlete, Gary? Rough? What does smooth mean?
let's put it this way. You got the job done. Lott is the guy who, of course, ran that wishbone for Barry Switzer at Oklahoma. He wore the bandana, you might recall, under the helmet. The NFL disallowed that. He can't do that.
In overtime, Minnesota beat Green Bay 27-21. Kramer to Rashad.
Tough loss for the Packers. Here's Lott again. Lott inside the 30, trying to get additional yardage. I don't know what the extent the injury of Anderson is. They were looking him over. He's still Johnny Omohandro, the trainer. Now he's up and walking on the sideline. Third down, and still a good 3 yards to go. Steve comes in, Paris comes out, 3 wide receivers again.
This is a good play again. I would think, if I were thinking in Bud Wilkinson's shoes, that I might decide to run a draw play or run the ball, try to split a tackle, because I got to go for the first down on 4th down. Here comes the blitz. Be ready.
3rd and 3.
They came again.
And there's Tilly. Tilly to the 15, his 5th catch of the day. And right now, they're really doing a job.
They caught the blitz that time. They did the same thing in the first half. The Redskins showed the blitz a little early that time. They come up, they fake the blitz, they back out, and you see what you do. You get rid of that ball in a hurry. Tilly broke his pattern off real quickly in front of Lavender. They pick up another first down.
14-yard pickup, and Tilly had a big day last year against the Redskins. 7 for 123. He's off and moving again. Anderson is checked back in. Tilly 5 catches, 96 yards. First down at the 14. Cardinals trailing 14-0. Hart with lots of time. Off to Anderson, who just checked in. Anderson trying to get to the 10-yard line. Over there. Also Malott. The ball was loose, but it's been blown dead. Mark Murphy.
Even when Anderson...
You know, Hart's over 200 yards now, and they still haven't gotten on the scoreboard. 209 yards. 2nd and 6, just short of the 10. Hart to Anderson. Anderson, he's going to make it to about the 5. Big struggle going on as he just wouldn't go down on that play.
And the Redskins came again with the blitz. They've given him a steady diet of it. You see just a direct handoff and a good piece of running here. Spinning, moving, fighting for the extra yards.
See him reach out, plant that ball about another yard up the field.
Be a little careful with him.
Anderson 60 yards now, and it's at the 5. It's 3rd down, a yard. They pick up a 1st and goal. The Cardinals trailing 14-0. They now have a full house backfield. Hart giving off to Wayne Morris, and Morris has a 1st and goal now as he makes it inside the 5. And so the Cardinals, who have been held scoreless, now trying to do something about that.
You see them going in. Good short yardage play, good blocking, good block on Tony Peters. Murphy coming in. The thing the Cardinals don't want to happen here is make a mistake, because this would really deflate them.
They've had some bad things happen to them in this game, and as you said, they can't afford it anymore. 1st and goal at the 3, the full house backfield again. Give off to Morris. Morris diving. He's close, but he didn't make it in. He's at about the half-yard line. Boy, he gets up in the air, doesn't he?
I can't believe that. I'm going to give him about a 7-foot degree of difficulty on that one. Can you believe he really went up in the air early here, too? Look, just a big leap.
Morris, who is so good at protecting that football. At one time, he had carried the ball 184 yards, or 184 times without a fumble. 2nd and goal at the 1. Hart diving, Theodis Brown, touchdown. And so, at the 1:59 mark of the 3rd quarter, the Cardinals, who had to scratch and claw and fight their way, are now on the board and very much in this football game.
That was an impressive drive, too. They may have been a beaten-up offensive line, but they're doing a pretty good job right now, because that was a tough drive for them. See him going over the top, just breaking the plane of the goal line, and the line judge is right in position to see it and makes a call.
Steve Little missed a couple of point afters last week to kick. And Little's kick is on the way, and it's good, and it's a 14-7 game. 1:59 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We have a football game long ways from being decided here in Busch Stadium.
When you need your car now, but you're number 10 in line for service, you're number 1 at Budget Rent-A-Car. When your number 3 son leaves you with no car, you're number 1 at Budget. Whenever you've got any number of places to go, but no car to get there, get a great rate on a great car, plus the great feeling your business really counts.
At Budget, you're number 1.
For reservations, call toll-free or see the yellow pages.
Super automotive values from Sears. Steering through the snow or rolling through the rain. Sears all-season steel-belted radio, the weather handler can handle it. Now on sale, as low as $29.88 each. Now get the Sears heavy-duty shock, just $9.99 each installed. Smooth out some of the jolts, jars, and jerks with America's best-selling shock, installed only $9.99. At Sears, where America shops for value.
Another overtime game.
27. The whole day is full of overtime. I'll tell you one that's not going into overtime. That's the Jets in Buffalo. Buffalo's up 46-24.
This is Buddy Hardiman. It's a 14-7 game here in favor of Washington. Look out. Hardiman looked like if he got to the near side, he was off and running. Finally, Ken Green dropped him. Boy, is he an exciting football player. An 18-yard return. As we mentioned, Ken Green eventually hemmed him in. And now Washington, who scored all their points in the first quarter, find themselves up by only 7 points. And still a whole quarter plus a minute 48 remaining in this one to play.
Important drive for the Redskin offensive team. A little pressure back on them now to move the football, try to go down and get some points.
On the 22, and this crowd now starting to react. Look at that drive, 87 yards. Impressive drive, took 6.5 minutes. Brown capping it on the 1-yard smash. Theismann back protection is excellent. And we're going to have pass interference. Roger Worley going over the top of Ricky Thompson. No question about that one. Worley.
Uncharacteristic play for Roger
Right.
Worley.
It really was.
That's unlike him so much. I don't understand that. He always caught my ball so well. I hit him in the chest so frequently.
Defensive pass interference, number 22, first down.
Well, sometimes you get all fired up. You want to come out and establish something defensively, and you make a play like that. But Worley, 6 Pro Bowls. He's quite a player.
He probably felt that Thompson was going to make the catch anyway. Take a chance.
From the 38, first down. John Riggins. Riggins to the 40-yard line. You get the feeling that with that touchdown, everything came alive a little bit for St. Louis. The crowd starting now to get up a little bit. Defense playing with a little intensity.
Well, he puts the pressure back on the Washington offense, and this is in the past, in protecting leads, that's where they've had their problems.
Look at that, penalty-wise. Couldn't be any closer than that. From the 40, 2nd and 8. Bugs at the top. Thompson at the bottom of the screen flanked out. Malone, Riggins, the running backs. Up the middle, and Benny Malone, he is punished on that play. 43-yard line, he got sandwiched in there. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and still 6 yards to go. And this is a very important play now for Washington.
Becomes a big play. One of the first big plays. Benny Malone's kind of hobbling
Yes,
off a little bit.
Boy, he really got hit on that last play. Both he and Riggins come out. Harmon and Hardiman come in.
This is their passing team. This is where they like to swing out of the backfield and take the little passes and run with the ball after they catch it.
Malone has 35 yards for the afternoon in rushing. 3rd down. A long 5. Almost 6 yards to go. Theismann with the time. Hardiman, did he have it? I guess he did, and that'll be a 1st down. Hardiman coming back and with the completion to the midfield stripe with the 50.
Just what we were talking about. Both backs swinging out of the backfield. You see Harmon kind of checking down, but Hardiman first coming out. Good throw by Joe because he kept the ball low. No chance for an interception. Good reception.
And now we've come to the end of this 3rd quarter, the last play of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Washington 14, St. Louis 7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Tonight, meet Trevor John, M.D.
Terrific surgeon, that new kid. Who is he?
when he meets Dr. Gonzo Gates. Don't miss the exciting premiere tonight at 10, 9 Central.
This is CBS.
taking a look at today's officials, Red Cashin and his crew, only 6 penalties called in this game. They've done an outstanding job.
That's right, 3 each for a total of 28 as we start the fourth quarter. A first down for Washington at the 50-yard line. Look at that, St. Louis statistically, except on the scoreboard, winning this thing.
The two big plays, the fumble and that big 41-yard pass to Hardeman. Detroit upset Atlanta 24-23. That's the final.
Atlanta losing 2 in a row. They meet the Skins next week in Atlanta. First down. Theismann gives off to Malone, who's back in there after that injury. Favron over and gets him. Favron reached out there and grabbed him around the shoulder pad, and that was the end of that run.
This is the kind where when you're reaching like this, sometimes you get caught for face guarding. Not here. He gets him behind on his shoulder pads and jersey, and look how he pulls him down.
Favron has a good speed. He's run a 4.65. And he was a defensive end in college, and they couldn't block him. They had a tough time blocking him in the training camp, and he made the football team. Playing today as Mark Arneson's out with a knee injury. Second down, 6. This is Hardeman, dropped. That was Ken Stone. Charlie Davis, but Ken Stone was up there in a hurry as he came in from that safety spot. There he is, 23, getting up. And that's going to bring up a third down and still 5 yards to go.
They took a page out of the Redskin defensive playbook today, coming with their own safety blitz.
A big third down. As we mentioned earlier, they bring in some different people. Harmon as Riggins comes out, so they have Hardeman, Harmon in there as Riggins and Benny Malone check out.
They don't go to the backs on a swing. A lot of times they like to run Hardeman or Clarence Harmon on a draw play in this situation.
Third down, a long 5 to go for Washington. 14-13 remaining in the game. Theismann back, scrambling out. He's got some running room to the 40, and he goes down, but he's got the first down. Joe Theismann. And that is the one play that has haunted St. Louis all year long as a scrambling play.
That bothers every team, and it just shows you the quickness that Joe Theismann has. He finds an opening up front. Jankowski got up in front of him. The receivers were covered. And he's learned safe. Nice hook slide, huh?
What is it they say? Getting in the fetal position. Just get down and protect yourself. But a 9-yard pickup. Big play by Theismann at the 36, first down. There's Malone, and Malone scrambling to the 31. Malone's played a very rugged game today. Eric Williams, 55, making the stop for St. Louis. Final score on that Bills-Jets game, and a little bit of offense in that one.
77 points between them. Gee, where do you get 46 points from? That's a season for some teams.
Take you all day to do the highlight package, wouldn't it? Second down, 5 on that last play on a run by Malone. Thompson to the bottom of the screen. Bugs to the top. Theismann back. And Riggins, check that. Gene Fugate, the intended receiver. And the timing off on that play. And Theismann puts his hands up as to say, I don't know what happened on that one.
He's disappointed himself. He had Fugate. The blitz was coming, and he was just trying to lay it out there and quickly in front of Gene. Didn't make a good throw. A little disappointed.
Theismann 8 of 14 for 91 yards. Third down, 5. And again, the Cardinals have strung him out to that third down. But last time Theismann got it, let's see what he does this time.
The big thing now, they're in range of Mark Mosley's field goal range now.
And as we said before, so many games in this series decided by the kicking. Up the middle, and that's going to be short of the first down, goes Clarence Harmon, and here comes Mosley. A big field goal attempt coming up at the 12:38 mark. Mosley earlier this year defeated Detroit with 8 seconds left on a 41-yard field goal. He's won so many big games for him, it's hard to recapture them all. He's 6 of 7 this year. His longest field goal is 46 yards.
But his only miss is 70 yards.
And this is going to be a 47-yard attempt. So if he hits this, it would be the longest kick that he's successfully completed in this season. And he gets it up in a hurry, and the kick is good. Boy, does he hit that impressively. Mark Mosley, a beautiful 47-yard field goal. And the Redskins, 3 big points, now have taken a 17-7 lead, 12:05 to go.
Gentlemen, tonight we're brought together here by two things we all love. Good food and light beer from Miller. I want to take this opportunity myself to tell you, I don't get no respect.
Gaston, je dis feignant. Si elle est pas feignante, donc what is it?
Meatloaf sandwich and a light. Gentlemen, we all know and appreciate, light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and it's less filling.
But the best thing is it tastes great.
Less filling. Gentlemen.
Hey, Deacon, pass the roll. Hey, Charlie, that's my beer.
No, this is by your broccoli.
This is my broccoli. That's my beer.
What's wrong with you guys?
Hey, Bubba, you want the peas? Ooh. You gonna eat all that? Just showing off.
Gentlemen, in closing, I'd like to think I speak for all of us, but I say if it wasn't for light, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Hey, you're postponed.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How's this for an impressive lineup? Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, an exclusive interview with Johnny Carson. And Archie Bunker's Place will get a new partner, and Martin Balson, guest star Ali Savalas, joins Alice. The Jeffersons are back with a big surprise, and Pernell Roberts stars as Rapper John N.D. tonight.
Well, I hope we have a quick flight. I want to get back to see that.
All right, Roy Green, Willard Harrell back. And here's kind of a squib kick.
Kicking it away again from Harrell.
This is Green that picks it up. Roy Green out to the 30, 35, and to the 39-yard line. So that does not work very effectively for Washington. Dallas Hicksman made the tackle after a 28-yard return. You look at Dave Steep. For the Cardinals, now with a 17-7 deficit to work with. That field goal by Mosley, so impressive, capping that drive of 48 yards. And when he kicks them, Sonny, they go up so quickly. He gets them up in a hurry.
So confident. There's no one in the league that kicks as confidently as Mark Mosley, and you'd have to say that he is right now the premier kicker in the league. The big play of that drive had to be the Theismann scramble.
From the 39, a first down. Hart on first down to throw. Has the time, and he has Pat Tilley. And Tilley has a first down catch at the 49. That was a good catch because Harris was right with him all the time.
Talk about perseverance. They've run that play over and over and over again. They finally get it in. It's a deep sideline pattern. You see Hart move back around Dave Butts' rush, but you see again, Parrish, the pass was completed, but you see how close he was and how disgusted he is about having a completion on him.
Tilley now has 6 catches, 109 yards. What a day he's having. Hart, there's his statistics. Still only 7 points on the board. They give off to Anderson, and Anderson inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Every time he gets the football, you expect something to happen. Brad Dusick making the tackle. Dusick, probably the most underrated player on this Washington team. Led the team in tackles the last 2 years. On the 44, a gain of 5, second and 5. There's Bud. It's been an uphill battle. His team was down 14-0 almost before everybody realized this game was underway. On a second and 5, Anderson again, nothing doing. Excellent play by Ken Houston again. He gets my vote as playing the best defense of anybody out there today.
I'm going to give him our award, the 38 Chevy Award or something. What does he get?
So it's back to the 45.
He's really made some outstanding plays. I think the position they put him in, they've had a real smart defensive game plan today against the Cardinals, I think.
Third down conversions, you just saw it, and we have a third down. Anderson, by the way, 63 yards for the day. Hard on the third down. Over the middle, Dave Steep, but he's short of the first down. Good tackle by Ray Waddy, the free agent out of Texas A&I, and now you come to fourth down. What are you going to do?
I think you got to go for it. I think they got to go for it.
And they are, I believe. Paris coming in, Chandler coming in, both tight ends, and they will on a fourth down, a yard to go at the 39 of Washington.
I'd give it to Morris in one of his half gainers.
Swan dives, huh? Well, he did a job on that last goal line, and now the Cardinals They could really seal their doom if they don't get this one. 4th down, a yard to go. Anderson going for it. He's got it, I believe, or does he? I don't know. His forward progress very, very close. He kept pumping the legs. We'll just wait and see. I'm not even going to guess on this one.
I don't know. It's mighty close. He got it. He got it on second effort.
Neither team is sure. You can tell right now they're not sending in any changes in those lineups. And here they come. Man, what a big measurement this is.
Just like a
9:04 left in this game, and here they go.
Big, big measurement is right.
They got it. By the length of a football. I wouldn't have bet anything on that one. First down at the 38-yard line. 17-7. Washington. We got a first period score now. San Francisco, New Orleans.
DeBerg hit Solomon with a 17-yard pass. They lead 7-0. That's still in the first with 4 minutes left.
The 49ers have played tough thus far this year. Hart with a new series. Play action. Gets it up, and Wayne Morris is hit and hit hard by Malott, but the play isn't over yet. And he gets it back to the 45-yard line. Malott read that beautifully. Coy Bacon was storming in on Hart. Nobody was fooled in that Redskin defense.
They better quit picking on this young linebacker from Penn State, Rich Malott. He got the Redskins one touchdown with a hit, and you see how he plays this play again. Right up there, beats the block, and he doesn't give up. Still fighting to get back in on the play. What an effort by Morris.
7-yard loss, however. It's 2nd and 17. Back to the 45-yard line. Malott, boy, they just talk about him all the time, don't they? 7th-round draft pick out of Penn State. The second pick. Here's Hart scrambling out. This is Gray. He's coming back to the football, so he'll be short of the first down. He caught the ball about a yard or two short, then gave ground, and they're going to mark the ball at the 33-yard line. They still have 5 yards to go for a first down.
I thought Mr. Hart was supposed to be a pocket quarterback. He's showing you a little movement here. He got forced out of the pocket, sets up, makes a good throw again. They have to be pleased with his play today because he's thrown the ball accurately. Watch Ray Waddy come over. Ray Waddy does a somersault there.
12-yard pickup. I think you said it very well. Jim looks like the Hart you expect to see. He's throwing the ball with timing, pace. And now with a 3rd down still. Almost 5 yards to go. Like the blitz. In Houston up there again. Hart gets it off to Tilley, and does he have the first down? It's very close. That's what they've done all day long against the blitz, and it's worked. As Murphy and Houston were blitzing, they may measure again. They are. I think they have this one. Boy, what a day Pat Tilley has. He has 7 catches, and that's what they've been doing to negate that blitz. They just quick look into Pat Tilley.
If they picked up the blitz, the Redskins showed it quickly, and he had a tough time getting away. If they make it, it's going to be right on the ball by inches again because the sticks go right to that football.
They got it this time by less than the other one, didn't they?
Yes, they did. By nose, huh?
There's some of that sellout crowd, a better than 55,000. 6:49, a lot of time in this game.
A lot of time, but the clock is becoming a factor now. If the Cardinals go down and don't come away with points out of this drive, they need to come away with some points, and I'm sure the Redskins would like to have a force a turnover here.
Hart is now 20 of 30 for 238 yards. First down at the 28. Anderson has Wayne Morris throwing a big block, and it doesn't get him all that much as his forward progress to the 27. That's one thing Morris will do. He will block well. Lavender running Anderson out of bounds.
That Redskin defense is really stringing Anderson out. Everybody keeping their position is something you have to do. You can't commit yourself at him and start going after him because he has the ability to cut back.
So a gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 at the 26. There's Jim talking it over. 34-year-old quarterback.
The New York Giants are leading the Philadelphia Eagles 3-0. That's in the first quarter.
Jim last week going over 2,000 completions in his career. One of 10 men to ever do it in the history of the NFL. Here's Hart back. He's got Tilley, and Tilley can't get back to the ball. Lavender defending on it.
There again, that's just timing. Tough throw to make, because you got to throw the ball before the man makes his break. He had delivered the ball, but he had it a little bit behind him.
So we come to a third down. Steve comes back in. Well, if they wouldn't get it here, they'd still need to go for the field goal. And then,
with the kicking problems they've had?
Well, Steve Little is 1 for 1. He's kicked only 1 field goal, but he would be the man because they've elected to have him do all the field goal kicking today in place of Mike Wood. Third down, 8. Hart on a 3rd and 8. Gets it off, complete to Anderson. Anderson running low. He's got the first down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Mark Murphy made the tackle, and they come through with another big third down.
What a great call it was on 3rd and long. Good call. Little screen pass, and not a screen going wide that they've had problems with. Kind of a screen middle. You see Jim throws the ball right back up the middle. He picks up his blocking. That's what you want to have. Otis Anderson out in the open running the football for you.
He comes out of the game, though. He's shaken up. As you can see, Thomas Lott has replaced him. The second time in this game. He is really getting whacked around out there. Hart now with 250 yards passing. First down, just inside the 15. Gives to Thomas Lott. Ooh. We'll see Dave Butts spin him around. Got to figure out where you are after a play like that.
Hey, Dave Butts is so strong. Man probably doesn't know how strong he is, you know.
Willard Harrell now comes in replacing Thomas Lott. Going to give Lott a chance to reorient himself out here. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. That's right about Butts. He's a huge man, 285, 6'7", former #1 pick of the Cardinals in '73. He was their top defensive player of a year ago. On a 2nd and 9. Hart. He has Tilley. Timing not quite right. Lamar Parrish over there defending. Boy, Tilley has caused some problems, but that time they had it covered pretty well.
Well, I think Hart threw the ball early, quickly, and Tilley's a little upset about it. But the reason he did, because Kenny Houston came on a blitz again.
Another 3rd down. This has been a drive of a lot of big 3rd downs for the Cardinals. Their 3rd one coming up, 3rd and 9 from the 13-yard line. Steve back in. They bring out their tight end, so 3 wide receivers. Banks continuing to operate at center. Collins as one of the guys. They started the game with Brahaney at center and Banks to the guy. 3rd and 9. Wayne Morris, he made the catch. No, incomplete. Mark Murphy defending on the play, and now field goal time. Steve Little will come in and attempt the field goal. As we said, he is 1 of 1 this year. He kicked a 22-yarder a week ago when they benched Mike Wood. But this guy in college was a remarkable field goal kicker. He kicked 53 of them. And he will attempt the 30-yarder. Roger Worley to hold. At the 5:01 mark. What's happened? What happened on that?
I don't think Worley got the snap. He fumbled a snap from center.
Let's look at it again. I never saw the ball get back there.
Didn't look like a bad snap. Wait a minute, we're going to have a penalty too.
Where is the ball?
The ball's down in front of him.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It really is.
I never saw the ball come back to Worley.
I didn't either. I think they may have grabbed the ball
before it got there?
Before the center moved the ball.
I bet that's the reason.
I think it's an infraction there. Never saw the ball come back, did you?
Neither. It was like one of those disappearing acts.
I think it's some kind of infraction. Let's see if we can see the ball. Let's hear this.
Number 82 of the defense used his own man to go up in the air. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. First down.
Dallas Hickman. Let's go back again, Sonny. I want to see this football.
I want to see the snap. Oh, there's a snap,
he
and
sure
he
did.
just loses the handle on it.
He sure did. Well,
it was a good snap. What a break for the Cardinals here.
Thank our director, Jim Silman. I feel better now. I didn't see it the first 2 times.
But what a break. Not only do they get the ball, they get a first down, and they have first and goal.
But that's what you can't do. You know, a lot of those guys used to come leaping over their own players, didn't they? Use them as kind of a catapult of some type.
Exactly right, and that's what Dallas Hickman did. He went up on the back of one of his own players.
Just outside the 5, first and goal for St. Louis. They're still very much in this one. Here's the give to Anderson. He walks over his own lineman that time, inside the 5 to the 4.
Clock really becoming a factor. We're down to 4:40.
The Cardinals down 17-7. Dave Butts made the tackle. One of the officials has a flag down way over on the far side. I believe a flag and a penalty's been called on Jack Pardee. Pardee was on the field, and I believe an official has thrown a flag on him.
Pardee was down on the 5-yard line complaining about something.
He's still out on the field a little bit on the 15, 16-yard line area. But he was clear down at the 5, and I believe that's what it's going to be.
Well, you can't blame him for being upset, having a call like that go against him. That's unlike Jack to be down on the goal line. He's trying to get the official to come over and talk to him.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the defense. The coach on the field. First down.
That's 2 plays I haven't heard in a long time. The guy being aided by his own lineman, and now the coach. And now is a first and goal at the 2.
Maybe Jack wants to get it in play.
I think he still could. First and goal at the 2. Hart throwing far side. Intercepted by Parrish. Jerry Parrish, the intended receiver. Lamar Parrish comes up with the interception. And on a first and goal at the 2, that one backfired.
What a bad call. I'll have to just say, bad call, first and goal. You got to get the ball in the end zone. Use your people. They got it in again.
And that, with 4:36 left in the game, has really put the lid on the Cardinals.
Taste. We've got taste. Come to
Taste Hawaii. Taste New York. Taste the West. And the East.
Style. We've got style.
Taste Canada. Taste Paris. And London. Taste Sheraton.
We've got taste. We've got taste.
You got the ring? I got the ring. Jerry, start the car. Airline tickets. Got them. Jerry, start the car. Hotel. Reservations. Jerry, start the car.
Okay, Jerry.
The maintenance-free Die Hard. Extra power to start your car
Now start the car.
when most batteries won't. So it gets you to the church on time. Only at Sears.
It's the World Series of Golf. Next Saturday and Sunday, the best of world-class players shoot for the title in the World Series of Golf. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Lamar Parrish with his 4th interception of the year. And at the 20-yard line, Washington with the football. We're just sitting here shaking our heads.
First and goal on the 2.5, and you throw the ball in the end zone. If you throw it up in the stands if it's a possibility of being intercepted.
John Riggins bringing it out. Tim Carney flying over to make the stop. There's Jack Pardee. Well, he had a little problem there for a while, but he had a guy by the name of Parrish that took care of that in a hurry, didn't he? Jack Pardee. Boy, his team go 3-1. They have really played extremely well. And, of course, with Atlanta losing today, Atlanta's lost 2 in a row, and that's who they play next week. The ball at the 24-yard line. This has been a very, very difficult afternoon for the Cardinals. This has been a painful one. They've lost 3 big fumbles, and then just a moment ago, that unbelievable interception. Here's Benny Malone. Malone going nowhere. 3:47 now. Charlie Davis over there making the tackle.
Washington being very careful. They just want to eat up some time on the clock. I think we're going to have a timeout by the Cardinals.
And that's what it is. Steve Niels comes to the near side to confer with the Cardinals. Boy, St. Louis now with a tough road to hoe as they have Los Angeles, Houston, Philadelphia coming up. You got to win your games at home, and in particular in this division, Eastern Division. There's the time. The game started out in a ridiculous fashion, and it kind of ended up that way, hasn't it, here in the fourth quarter? So we have a timeout. 3:45 left. Jack Pardee talking it over with Joe Theismann. We'll be back in a moment.
Everybody knows small cars save gas. Yeah! But we Duffies need more room. Yeah! So the Duffies are here on the Incredible Ford Factory Tour to find out what incredible things Ford is doing for the Duffies. Yeah! Children, this is Ford Motor Company's incredible new gas-saving automatic overdrive transmission. Repeat.
Incredible automatic overdrive transmission.
Roger.
This is the first transmission of its kind in any American car.
Susie?
At about 40 miles an hour, it shifts into overdrive automatically.
Julie?
That makes your engine work less, so it uses less gas. Yeah!
But the most incredible news of all is that they made this transmission available in Duffy-sized cars like this Ford LTD wagon. Katie?
Ford is incredible.
To take the incredible Ford factory tour, write us for information.
This is an interesting stat, Sonny. Look at that. St. Louis time and possession.
They've moved the football, but they've made the crucial errors. Give Washington some credit for forcing and making the plays defensively.
That's right. 3rd down and 8 from the 22. Bison's going to throw it. And over there, almost coming up with interceptions, Carl Allen, Ricky Thompson, the intended receiver, so they're going to get rid of the football. Cardinals going to have good field position. Boy,
there's plenty of time left, but that last possession, it's going to haunt them. And that man right there knows it better than anyone. Now, I have to admire what he's done. They said he was too old. He couldn't make the transition from the game had passed him by and everything. He held that team together last year and has great respect.
They went 6-2 after going 0-8, and I don't think too many coaches could have pulled that off.
That's right.
Harrell back, dragged the kick. Fine spiraling kick. Harrell with a chance to run this one. And trying to get out of bounds, stops the clock at the 40, and flags are thrown. And Monty Coleman's upset about something out there.
I tell you, that was it. Dallas Hickman came down. Bearfield threw a block, but it was the latest call on the clip I've ever seen.
They waited a long time.
They waited a long time. Harrell was almost out of bounds before they ran across and threw the flag down. They're going to get a clipping call.
And so that good field position we thought they were going to have isn't going to come about.
That's right. Another call. You see right here, he's trying to get his head in front of Dallas Hickman. Uh-oh, I don't know. That's questionable. I thought it was a pretty good block. I'd have to give him a good block on that. I think that's it.
Blocking below the waist.
That's
number 58 of the receiver.
That's that rule we keep forgetting about.
The new rule, you can't block below the waist. Not
any kicking situation.
That was what it was.
And so with 3:30 left to be played in the game, the Cardinals now will have the ball at their own 26-yard line when we return to Busch.
A big green football team, an endless yellow sea, a cherry pie, an orange sky, the bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike, and our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Does the idea of buying a used car scare you? Get a great car buy at Hertz Buy a Car. We sell only the best cars from the Hertz Rent-A-Car fleet, and we give you the complete service and maintenance records so you know exactly what you're getting. Hertz Buy a Car. Call toll-free for nearest location.
They call him the Fiddler. His target, women alone. He's the death car on the freeway. Shelley Hack and George Hamilton star in the Tuesday night movie at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Philadelphia, boy, they had an impressive win last Sunday. They lead the Giants.
They trailed them 3-0. Then Jaworski hit Wilbert Montgomery with a 53-yarder.
He threw a touchdown pass to Montgomery last week on the 27-yard lines where they marked it first down. Hart's going to have to come out throwing. He has Steep, and Steep can't hang on. Steep over the middle. Mark Murphy along with Kenny Houston converging on him.
He had it too. I tell you, that's the kind of catch Dave Steep makes. Houston beat Cincinnati in overtime, Gary, 30-27.
Houston, of course, coming from behind to defeat these Redskins, 29-27. There's Steve. Steve is a 7th-round draft pick of a year ago. He started the final 3 games for St. Louis last year when Mel Gray couldn't answer the bell.
Had a second quarter score. You're looking at that Houston score in overtime there. Chicago and Miami are tied up at 3 apiece.
And we'll be joining that game on many of these same stations immediately at the conclusion of this one. 2nd 10 from the 27. Hart stepping up, rolling around a little bit, and Wayne Morris can't handle it. 3rd down. Again, though, that's the most I've seen Hart running around back here, and he's done a pretty good job.
Out of necessity, too. You see the rush coming across. Joe Jones behind him, and that's what forces him back up. He actually had a hold of his jersey at the time, and he got the ball a little bit behind Morris.
37 passing attempts for Hart. He's been busy today, hasn't he? And so Gray and Tilley as the wide receivers on a 3rd and 10. 3:20 remaining in this game. The Cardinals are going to look at this game as a game of missed opportunities. Hart again. Steep. No way to get to that one. Ray Waddy defending on Dave Steep. And we come to a 4th down. Steve Little will come in to kick the football.
Jim Hart didn't want to come off the field. He wanted to go for it. I guess with 3:16 left, opportunity to kick it away, hope to force a turnover and get the ball back.
Buddy Hardiman will go back for the Redskins. With this win today, Washington will have won 6 of the last 7 against St. Louis.
They like playing against St. Louis. I know that. Some teams you like to play, some you don't.
Little will kick from the 11-yard line. Fine kick. Hardiman coming up. Oh, he's hit immediately. That is Johnny Bearfield. All right, let's look ahead to next week as this week number 4 coming to a close. Week 5 finds a good battle in the Central Division. Minnesota, Detroit, Giants against New Orleans, and Washington at Atlanta. Atlanta losing 2 in a row.
That's right. That Washington getting away here with a win today could be a good game.
And then Tampa Bay, Chicago, and Sonny, you and I will be out in Los Angeles for that Cardinal-Ram game. San Francisco, San Diego next Sunday. Be sure to consult the local listings for the games and times in your area. John Riggins out to the 40-yard line with just outside 3 minutes remaining in this game.
And we're going to get another timeout, I think.
St. Louis using their second. They have 1 remaining.
Timeout number 2.
Steve Niels will come over to the near side. Cardinals in the first half needed an extra timeout. Remember that play? You look back. They had the ball, at the 5-yard line and didn't have a timeout. Couldn't kill the clock.
That's right. Right at halftime as the half ended.
When the Cardinals look at the game films, they're going to make a long list of
do's and don'ts.
That's right. Or what should have happened. It didn't. But I don't want to take anything away from Washington. They have played remarkably well, and that's typical of Redskin teams. They precipitate a lot of those problems. They make the turnovers happen. They've always been a team that, as far as St. Louis is concerned, has come up with a key interception, the big field goal.
The thing they've done, I think, throughout the season so far, and you look at the timeouts there, the thing that they've done so well this year is that they have not beaten themselves. You know, they've really played, except for the first game when they fumbled the ball against Houston. But they've really played tough and within themselves, I think, and that's been the key to their success so far.
Jack Pardee is smiling now. He wasn't a while ago.
Got a second quarter score. Tampa's leading the Los Angeles Rams 7-6.
Boy, John McKay would like to win that one against Los Angeles. Tampa Bay 3-0 going in there. On a 2nd and 6, Riggins trying to go wide, and pursuit is very good that time. Johnny Bearfield over there. And it's going to bring up a third down, still 5 yards to go. It was a big hot air balloon that's just now going over the stadium here on this beautiful day.
Timeout.
And so St. Louis using yet another timeout.
Yes, that's their third, isn't it?
Yep, they've used their third timeout. 60 minutes tonight. Looking forward to this. Johnny Carson getting together with Mike Wallace and some very frank discussion coming up, profiling the life of the king of late-night television. Understand some interesting things about him.
What a remarkable job. Consider how many times he's done that show and what work that is every night.
And Mike Wallace, really quite a pair. They seem to really get along well. That'll be fun to watch on 60 Minutes. That's tonight. 2:54 left in this game. The Cardinals have used their final timeout. Joe Theismann returns to the huddle. Got a score from out west, Seattle and Denver.
Seattle leading now 10-3. Pretty good game they have going there. A couple of other scores. New Orleans and San Francisco. San Francisco's leading. No, I think it's New Orleans is leading that one 7-6 now. They missed the extra point. San Francisco did.
Third down, 5 from the 41. 2:54 remaining in the game. Give to Harmon, cuts back a flag. He's got a first down and then some. But a flag thrown, it's going to be holding against Washington. Tim Carney made the tackle. They're going to bring it back.
Who do you think it's going to be on?
I don't know, but I heard or saw the official indicate a hooking on it.
I would have to think it may be the same man that got caught before.
Cusile?
Let's see. He's had a job today with Davis on his head. We won't give him credit for it yet. We'll let the official do that.
Holding, number 54 on the offense, third down.
I didn't say it, Bob. I didn't say it.
I tell you, though, that offensive line does not have to be ashamed. They have played very well today. Well, they've really protected Theismann, haven't they?
They have, and he utilized his receivers well, too.
So it's now third down, 15 yards to go. Harmon again. Oh, wait a minute. Theismann kept the football out to the 35-yard line. I don't know if Harmon knew he was going to do that.
I don't think it. I think Joe did it on his own.
He looked around like, where is the football?
He may have felt unsure of the handoff and just kept it on his own.
I would imagine Pardee gets a little nervous when he sees Theismann running around like that.
Well, it was a risky play because what if he got hurt? He didn't want to get out of bounds and stop the clock. He wants the clock to run, so he had to take the hit.
And the clock with 2:29. Fourth down. Still 12 yards to go. And what's this all about? They stopped the clock. Why did they stop the clock?
Are they stopping the clock because the quarterback was tackled behind the line of scrimmage?
Oh, surely not.
They're saying that he was a quarterback. They stopped it.
Now the official coming over, they're going to run some time off the clock, I believe. That's what they're going to do. They stopped the clock, and now they're running time off. They started it again, and then they'll decide where to shut it down. They're running it down to 2:22. There it goes.
Now Bud has gone down the sideline to talk with the officials. Those officials are drawing a crowd out there with the coaches wanting to get on the field.
So now they've corrected that problem, and it's 2:16 left. Bud wants to know why. As it's going to be a fourth down. Cardinals are going to get the ball again. I guess stranger things have happened, haven't they, when you're down 17-7 with this time remaining?
Oh, yes, there's a lifetime left, except the fact that the Cardinals have no timeouts. That's the thing that's going to hurt them.
Okay, they'll go again with 2:16 remaining. Got some more scores?
Well, Philadelphia's still up 7-6 over the Giants. That's in the second quarter. It's still 7-6. Here's a surprising score. I think Kansas City's leading Oakland 28-0.
Kansas City won that first game and then ran on some hard times. So when we come back, it'll be a fourth down and 12 as we're waiting for this game to get underway again. I'm not sure what the holdup's about now. They may be resetting the clock, the 30-second clock. I think that's what they did. It has 16 seconds left on it. And so they've got everything ready to go now. They start the 30-second clock. And to kick the football from the 20-yard line is Bragg. And they start the game clock now. So everything's going. We approach the 2-minute warning. Bragg, fine kick. Harrell coming up. He kind of decoyed him on that one, didn't he? But it didn't do any good because Monty Coleman was down there as quick as the ball. As Harrell that time tried to decoy him into thinking the ball wasn't coming to him. A 36-yard kick. And again, St. Louis with the football, but 2:02 left to be played.
Well, they'll get one playoff here before the 2-minute warning. They will get the clock stopped there. So this is the one pass that you can throw inbounds.
Good point. Ray Waddy has come in. They'll have 5 defensive backs in that secondary. Houston, Parrish, Waddy, Joe Lavender, Mark Murphy. Hart back on the first down. Over the middle, Steep, fine catch and a first down. He's dropped immediately, and that will now have the 2-minute warning, as Sonny pointed out. And so the clock stopped with 1:57. That was a 17-yard pass completion to Steep. First down for the Cardinals. They trail it 17-7. 1:57 left to play.
Hey, Waco, Texas. Who introduced the radial tire?
He did.
Hey, Gloucester, Massachusetts. Who makes only radial tires?
He does.
He's the Michelin man. And at Michelin, we put you first. That's why we won't make a second-best tire. Because the only thing more important than our tires are the people who ride on them. Hey, Laguna Beach, California. Who's the fastest-growing tire company in America?
Michelin.
At Michelin, we put you first.
Now, the trick is, in just 3 moves, they get the light bottle caps all together, moving 2 each time. Once, twice, 3.
What? That's easy.
Hey, I could put away a lot of beer by the time they figure this one out. That's why I'm drinking light beer from Miller. Not only does light taste great, but it's got a third less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling.
Hey, what's going on here?
Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3.
What? That's easy. Let me...
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Want to thank our producer, Bob Rowe, for his assistance in this game today. Our director, Jim Zillman. Our associate producer, Vince Selena. Engineer in charge, Wilbur Allmeyer. Our technical director is Tom Martin. Ralph Day, our audio supervisor. On a beautiful afternoon that has turned into a long afternoon for St. Louis Cardinal football fans. But for Washington, hey, they're 3-1 if they can hang on here with 1:57 left in this game. A first down. Just before the 2-minute warning, a 17-yard completion to Dave Steep. Gray is in with Tilley now as a wide receiver. Hart back. Time to throw. Mel Gray down here. Parrish on him. He's out of bounds. Didn't have both feet in, and Parrish again just showing why he has been in the Pro Bowl so many, many times. In fact, 6 straight years. You can see why when he plays like that.
He just stayed right with him and he avoided the pass interference call and made sure that Gray didn't have a chance to keep in bounds there. Excellent play.
Well, they missed him last year, didn't they, when he broke that right wrist?
Didn't they ever?
He came back, still had 4 interceptions last year. He's already got 4 this year. And that big one in the end zone. Came over from Cincinnati for Coy Bacon, a #1 pick. It's been a good move by Washington.
You know, the game score 17-7, but when you look at it, you got the fumble, the blown coverage, and the bad throw.
The Cardinals would just soon not look at it. They'd soon forget. Second down 10. Hard again. Again, it's Steep. Steep's got the catch, and he's going to get out of bounds with 1:44, and he has another first down to the 35-yard line of Washington. Hart is going to soon have 300 yards passing in this game, and yet only 7 points.
They're having more success with the tight end, and that's why he's playing right now in a passing situation, Dave is, and he makes a catch there. He gets knocked out of bounds because the Redskins are doubling the outside receivers, allowing him single coverage.
There we are, a hot air balloon. Been a lot of them going over here. They had a big race about a week ago in St. Louis. That was the 5th catch of the year for Dave Steep. Of the day, I think I should say. Here's Hart back to throw again on a first down, scrambling around again, throwing Steep, defending on the play Ken Houston. But again, Hart rolling around out there.
The rush got him in, forced him out of the pocket, and he actually threw the ball away. Couldn't get himself set to throw the thing.
Second down with 1:39. Hart now has 285 yards passing. 42 attempts.
7 points.
That's what I keep coming back to. That may be some record if there is such a thing. Tilley has 7 catches. Steve has 5 catches for 104. Tilley for 114 yards. But again, I think absence of Mel Gray in the offensive picture is quite apparent. Again today, he just hasn't been able to get open.
They're doing a good job defensively on him. They're covering him.
Jim Childs now has come in replacing Steve at wide receiver. On a 2nd and 10, this is Steve again. I said he was out of there. They had 3 wide receivers. He fumbled the ball, but I believe it's out of bounds. Is it? If it is, the Cardinals have it at the 15-yard line. Wait a minute. Washington's got it. And that's the way this game started. Let's look at it again as he came up with the ball after Steve made the catch.
That's exactly the way it started. A Cardinal mistake again, a turnover again by the defense. You see right here, Tony Peters coming in. You see the ball is already free. The correct call very alertly. Mark Murphy, I think he did it on the first one.
That was the one that Houston batted away, remember?
That's right.
32-yard pass play back in the first quarter when it was 7-0. Batted away by Houston. Murphy returned at 22 yards. He's done it again, this time 21 yards.
Time to go to the kitchen and get a cold one.
From the 14-yard line, that just kind of, I think we've completely cycled in this game, don't you?
I think so.
We've gone completely around. That last completion, by the way, Sonny, moved Hart over 300 yards, 306 yards, only 7 points, all the fumbles, all the turnovers. It's been a nightmare.
There's 300 yards, but
for the Cardinals.
But the 2-yard pass that was intercepted was the costliest one of all.
Right. There's your time remaining, 1:18. An opportunistic Washington Redskin defense. They have pounced on those footballs. They had an end zone recovery for a touchdown. They've had 2 balls batted away after completions. So you've got to give the Redskin defense the credit.
They got to. They've won this football game. They did everything.
Inside a minute to go. And there's Seisman. There's no timeouts remaining for St. Louis as he just falls on the football. A lot of stations now will be seeing the Chicago-Miami game immediately following the conclusion of this one. Washington moves to Atlanta next week. The Cardinals go to Los Angeles next week. And Sonny and I will be there to bring you that one. And next week, our producer, Bob Rowe, will be going to Akron, Ohio for the World Series of Golf.
Oh, we're going to miss him, aren't we? We'll have Mr. Silman and get our good pictures as always.
Thanks to our statistician, Steve Bear, and our spotter, Bob Brennan, for their good work today. And now that's going to do it. No timeouts remaining. The clock will tick away, and the Washington Redskins have now won 6 of the last 7 against St. Louis. They moved to 3-1 for the year. The Cardinals, on the other hand, now have gone to 1-3 in the 1979 season. So the final score, Washington defeating St. Louis 17-7. This is Gary Bender saying so long for Sonny Jurgensen. Stay tuned now as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, the last 2 minutes of the first half. The Bears are ahead 6-3. Dolphins first down on the Bear 18. The Dolphins are one of only 5 undefeated clubs in the NFL. San Diego was knocked out of the unbeaten ranks today by New England. Cleveland and Dallas play tomorrow night. One of those will go. Clock to the 15-yard line. Osborne and Muckensturm team up. 3-yard gain for the Zonker. Second down, 7. Tampa Bay gets beat today. And Miami is defeated here by the Bears. We'd be down if Pittsburgh remains undefeated. We'd be down to only 2 undefeated teams.
One play that Don Strock throws extremely well is a slant pass. And the way the defensive backs of the Bears are playing, as deep as they are, it's a good opportunity. One might see this somewhere here in this drive.
Davis and Boulash are in. They're better pass receivers. The throw is the slant, and it's incomplete. He threw it high to Gary Davis coming across the running back.
That time the Bears really did a good job of camouflaging what they were going to do. They lined up deep, and then right before the snap of the ball, Strock changed the play. They came up tight on the receivers. He couldn't go to the outside receivers, try to hit Gary Davis, but he was confused on the play. A very good job on the part of the Chicago Bears.
Two of the best defensive teams in the league here today. As we said, the Dolphins #1 in fewest points allowed with 29 by their opponents, and the Bears have allowed only 34 points. And neither club has scored a touchdown here in the first half.
Matt Moore is playing tight end again.
3rd and 8. 3 receivers down. Rock pass. Incomplete to Bulash, number 31. And it'll be 4th and 8. We want to welcome the fans who've been watching the Redskins and the Cardinals just joined our network there.